you signed with the Jags during the 2020 COVID season, right?
Yep.
Boom. Okay, so how was the NFL different compared to 2019, 2018, 2017? Like, I know y'all didn't have a preseason, but what was it like from the inside looking out?
Um, it was personally, it was amazing for me. Like I loved it. I didn't like the part of like it got a little tiring, like having to go in meetings and in practices, like wearing the mask and stuff, because you get tired. And it's like when we were in practice, you would have to, like, if you took your helmet off to like get some water or something, like you literally drink your water, put your mask on. And it was like, man, like I can't, it's hard to breathe. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to breathe in this thing, but I get it, you know. So I did it, but that was probably the toughest thing. Being in the meetings, a lot of times we had to wear the mask and stuff all the time. But what I did love about it is I had just had my daughter. So, and she wasn't even one yet. She was like 8 months old, I think, when training camp started. So I was able to like be home and be with her a lot because a lot of times our meetings were over Zoom calls and stuff. So I was able to sit there, like watch film and stuff, but have her sitting in my lap. So I got to like spend a lot of time with her. And the only time we had to go to the facility was to practice for a while. And then, so I enjoyed that time just being able to, be home, be with my daughter and stuff. And as the season went on, they started changing the rules a little bit where then we had to go in meetings, or it was just kind of based on what the coach wanted to do. And I think they did a really good job of kind of allowing us to be in the building and also be at home kind of an equal amount of time or whatever, where we're not, around each other and possibly spreading COVID or whatever. And yeah, that was pretty much it. It just kind of sucked, just like practices, having to like wear the mask and stuff at practices and stuff like that. And then I had to, because I had a young kid in the house, I had to like stay away from everybody. So like obviously I had to get in the huddle to call the plays and stuff. But when I was on the side, when I was on the sideline, not in, I stayed away from everybody. Because I wasn't trying to get that to my daughter and stuff. But yeah, that was the biggest difference. And then it was just like, it's weird because you didn't really know how people look. Going on a new team, you didn't really know how people look. I knew how they looked more with the mask on than when they had it off. So it was like a couple of my teammates, like, I seen, and I was like, who are you? I didn't even know who, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know who they were because I was so used to seeing them all with their mask on. And being able to build that camaraderie and stuff kind of took a hit because you can't spend time with each other. You can't be around each other. So like being on a new team, it kind of sucked in that sense where I couldn't really get to know these cats because if they see us outside with each other or something, they gonna be like, "Nah, go your separate ways" type deal. Uh, but other than that, like, I mean, it was cool. I like being at home anyway, so like that's why I was like, it was cool. I had my daughter too, so I was cool. And then like I was 8 years in at the time, so it was like I felt like I didn't need to physically be in the meeting room to learn and to watch film and all that kind of stuff. Like I've been in it for a while. I know I got my own process. I know what to do. I know, I know everything. And I've been in this offense now I have been in the offense for 7 years. So it's like I really, know what's expected of me. So like I didn't, I'm okay not being in the meetings, having to physically be in the meeting rooms and all that kind of stuff.
So the average career in the NFL is what, like 3.5, 4
Yeah.
years, right? So you played what, 8, 9 seasons?
9.
9 seasons. What's the key to longevity in the league, man? Because obviously then you did it at running back. So
Yeah.
obviously, man, you got the key to longevity, man. So what is it?
I hear a lot of people say like it's hard to stay in the league, it's easy to stay in. It's hard to get in the league, it's easy to stay in. And what I would say about that is, it's 1,300 people in the whole world get to do this thing for a living. So it's a very, very, very small percentage. But once you get in, it's more so about your consistency, really figuring out what makes you you, and just your growth as a human being. Because all of us are on our college teams and we're that guy on our team. When you get to the NFL, it's a team full of guys that were that guy on their teams, all just, 63 of the best on all these college teams on, on one team together. And you gotta figure out what makes you you and be as consistent as possible as you can in that. And when I say what makes you you is what makes you different, what makes you stand out from the other guys in your position, what makes you different. You can't go into the league or your team and be like, oh, I was the starter there, I'm gonna start at safety, I'm gonna start at running back here. Don't work like that. A lot of times, if you're not the first, second round pick, a lot of times they already got their guys. They're bringing you in to fill a specific role. If they need you to start, then they need to have the confidence that you know that you can go in there and do what you need to do. A lot of times, doing what you need to do is not even making plays. It's just not having missed assignments, not doing the wrong thing. So for me, it was what made me who I was my ability to pass block, being that I was a smaller frame guy, my ability to run routes, and my ability to catch the ball effectively. Those were the 3 things that made me different. And then this is what made me different than a lot of the other guys. Because one thing for sure, you were hardly ever gonna outsmart me on the field. And when I say that, I mean opposing defenses. You're not gonna give me looks that I'm not used to seeing. If you do give me a look that I'm not used to seeing, I'm gonna adjust to it pretty fast. I listen to everything. I know your play calls. I sit there, I'm studying during the games. And so if I keep hearing you giving certain play calls, I'm paying attention to what all 11 guys doing when you call that. Because usually the linebackers are the play callers. Or, they adjust the plays and stuff like that. And that's what helped me to stay in the league. So even though I had all those injuries, it was one of those things where they knew, like, if we got Chris out there on the field, one, he gives a different element to the game because he can run routes, he can do all that, he can pass block as well. Obviously, he's a running back, so he can run the ball good enough. But it's that other stuff that makes him different. And I was always able to, I felt like I was always able to maximize that and to give those coaches confidence that I can do it. And relationships plays a big role in it too, because if you get good with some of these coaches, you will play way beyond your years. And that's, that's just truth. That's just truth in a lot of situations where a lot of guys will tell you, like, I still shouldn't have been playing, but because I was good with these coaches, I had good relationships, they knew what I could do, they trusted me to do my job. Although I lost a step, they know I'm gonna still be in the right spots, put myself in the right positions, or put other people in their right positions. Because a lot of times, like, I would be in games or something with new receivers, or maybe it's just crunch time or something, and receivers may forget something. Usually not tight ends, but a lot of times, like, receivers may forget what route they got or something like that. We put something in brand new that, or whatever. But I was that guy where, like, they could ask me and I know what everybody got to do. That's something that makes you different, makes you stand out from the rest. I was never a starter. I've been a starter from middle school all the way through college. Then I get to the league and in 9 years, I got one NFL start. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not about being the starter and being that superstar. It's finding that niche, finding that what makes you who you are, and just try to maximize that. Like, it would be all fine and dandy if I was the starter and making whatever, you know what I'm saying, top dollar, where I'm like, nah, you got to pay me like the top 5 highest paid running back. That's nice and all, but I also wanted longevity. I wanted to be able to be 30 plus, and they bringing in other young running backs, and I'm like, all right, let me come here, let me teach you what I know. Let me help you be the best that you can be, because that's what it's all about. To me, that's the other level to it. Yeah, we want to, number one, make sure we put our families, we do this so we can make the money, make sure we put our families in some good situations or whatever. But outside of that, is helping those young guys just, be able to do the same. And that's why I'm grateful that I was able to play for so long. And, hopefully I helped some guys. I felt like I did a pretty good job, but, helping some guys come along and, make good decisions.